Hello and welcome back to the New Zealand 2021 Ultimate Championships. My name is Richard Harris.
And my name is Will Druzianic.
And we're looking for a decent round 3 matchup today. We've got Nexus Flexes versus the Misfits. It's a lovely day here in Christchurch. It's pretty cloudless sky, a little bit of stratus up the top, but we're looking nice. Got a bit of gusty wind blowing. It's currently 23 degrees live. And the breeze is blowing solid 12 k's regularly, but we'll have a little bit of gust here and there, which should make it a little bit awkward for the players throwing.
It's luckily died down from this morning where it was quite a stronger wind, so hopefully we'll see the disc fly a bit smoother today.
Aye, and yeah, ultimately these two teams are looking quite good. They've both participated in some of the warm-up competitions and they didn't do fantastically. But let's look at Nexus Flexes now. They've got coach Emma Doyle, who's currently will also be captaining as well, Rebecca Lynch, Gabriella Staley, Lucy Ashford, Emma Doyle, Liz Gooden, Niam's Cardi Squires, Tara-Lee Wickens, Stacey Mather, Emma Croft, Rose Urson, Pippa Mason, Caitlin Vanderpeet, Lois Browning, Becca Aston and Becky Liddell. And we're currently looking at the Misfits team now.
And here for the Misfits we have, of course, Brigitte League, Tammy Lushai, Anna Crosby, Lily Botting, Olivia Judd, Emma Whitlock, Rosie Stevenson, Gemma Graham, Ella Lamb, Zaria Ireland, Catherine Fulton, Jess Roll, Stephanie King-Griffin, Lulu Graham, Hannah Clark, Jana Marie Lowe, Kristen Clark, Tessa Swinson and Georgia Brown.
Both these teams coming in after a little bit of a rough setup. Welly wind-up, Nexus Flexes went 1-3. Misfits at Twin Harbour went 2-4, but they're both looking to improve on their time at the Ultimate Championships, and we're hoping to see a good match today.
Exactly. Hopefully it's pretty close. 90-minute game, first 15. Hopefully we see some great scores and points out there.
Aye, the wind just putting out a little gust up just to remind us that it's there. It's coming basically where we're looking, just from over the pitch, from maybe a little bit right to left on your screens here. But yeah, it's not too bad. And thankfully we should see quite a lot of experience from both sides. So we're looking to pass, I think, a little bit shorter for most of the game.
Absolutely. I've been watching them warm up. It seemed like they were practicing a bit of person-on-person defense, but I'm excited to see what they choose to do. But their long passes have been pretty good, as I've seen from the training.
It should be interesting because we have seen zone for most of the day. Of course, we had Spring Chickens beating Zodiac in the first match. They looked pretty good, experience over youth. And then another similar sort of matchup between the Valley Cats and Cogs. So we're hoping this one will be incredibly close and interesting.
As we can now see, the Misfits are having the pull. As it said, they will be starting with the starting throw that will go towards the Nexus Flexes.
Aye, and of course Misfits in the white, Nexus in the dark. And just a little bit of a chat on what they're going to do and who's going to match up with who, I would suspect. We're just waiting for confirmation to start here, largely. And there's one hand up, and other hand up, and here we go. That's a decent looking ball to start. It's held up in the wind though.
We passed the halfway mark, that's important.
It's always good to get a nice starting position going. A little bit of delay from Nexus Flexes getting it out allowed the Misfits to come down and match up pretty well on person-to-person defense. It looks like they are going to run with that.
It does look like that.
A couple of little short throws to start, and already we've got a bit of a deep throw going. It's no one out there, maybe a little bit of miscommunication.
Unfortunately a turnover, but not too bad as it's just the start of the game, so obviously there's a lot left to go, so we'll see where this ends up.
Misfits currently hugging the sideline. It's almost an 8th competitor with the wind blowing it directly over there. So they might have to look to come back in a bit. That's a nice deep throw again, but as I said, the wind just took it out. Turnover now. Nexus just trying to determine where they're going to go.
Fantastic short pass there, making its way up the line.
Getting a bit close in stalling counts, I think, just that little bit of pressure. It's a very different sort of style of play to what a zone defense would be, which we've seen for most of this morning. It's a lot more sort of in your face. You've got a lot more direct pressure as opposed to having a full box set up in front of you.
Wait for your opportunity when you think you can get the frisbee past the person who's marking you.
Unfortunate drop there.
Good turnover for the Misfits. Oh, my apologies for Nexus Flexus.
This continual pressure will make up for it eventually. We're looking to bring it back inside. And it's another deep throw to start off with.
This is the catch.
Just too far.
Great throw though.
Yeah, Pippin, is that Lois Browning in the end zone there, but just couldn't connect. I think working out the morning jitters, looks like. Both sides not having played a game on this, should we say, larger ground. We've got a lot of setups behind us, and there's a lot of sort of live action happening behind us and off to the right.
It's been a busy day of Ultimate Frisbee.
Very good.
Oh, good touch.
Just a little bit of a tip there.
Turn it back to Nexus Flexus. A great throw though from Tammy Lucia though, number 9 on the Misfits.
This can connect. Come back, just being the stall call looked like.
Oh,
and it's another deep throw that you come with a plan.
First point. There it is again in the end. Can't quite catch the number, but a great point scored by Nexus Flexus.
They've got me controlling the scoreboard here for the main game, which I've been doing all day. My apologies to the first 2 games, who were both Auckland versus South Island. We've now got your actual team on time, so that's always good stuff. But a great little throw. There's clearly a decent plan to come in and just go long. They've got a setup where they're going to do that. They've done that about 2 or 3 times at the start of the game. Yeah.
A couple short passes as we suspected, but it seems that they went for the long pass straight to the point zone to secure the point, which was a great move from them. They've played quite close to one side though, so it'll be interesting to see where Frisbee ends up in this round, whether it stays on that side or if it drifts towards the centre of the field more.
Hi, Nexus Flex is up 1-0. And we're now just having a bit of a chat. We've got the receiving team ready, just waiting for the polling team to go. As the wind gusting is up again, perfect time for the pull, but still a good pull.
The wind has carried that quite far. Oh, a catch from the Misfits, brilliant.
Remember, if you do attempt to catch on the pull and you drop it, it's a turnover, so brave move, and it's very good defence.
Good defence from Nexus Flexus.
Just a small bit of rushing back, and they got a hand on it. That's all you need sometimes.
Good turnover. Now it'll be interesting to see whether they play short or just try to launch the Frisbee back down the pitch. Unfortunately, a turnover. Back to the Misfits.
Slightly costly drop there, as we...
The person-on-person defence is still quite strong at the moment. Everyone always seems to be marked.
Misfits just looking to work it in. They're only about 2 or 3 passes, and they go straight in. That's another point.
Brilliant job from Misfits.
Just a little bit of a dink and dunk there. Only took a couple of passes to get in. 1-1. We've got a game on our hands, folks. It's a little pass from Zari Island. She's been a very good player. She was the MVP, I believe, and is up in, is it Welly Windup, I think it was. And she's also an under-20s player for New Zealand. So she's in good form coming into this tournament.
We could probably expect more from her from the rest of the game.
They'll certainly be looking to have their offense run through, I think.
Quick team discussion before the next pull throw.
Just working out new system, getting some new people on the field. 1-1. Trying to correct that scoreboard for you soon enough. A little bit of a hyping of the team up there. Pull is ready. And receiving team ready.
Scoreboard is now correct. It is 1-1 between Nexus Flexus and Misfits. A great pull throw. Wind is blowing it back a bit towards
It's
the
held
middle.
up quite a bit. It's ended up, despite the fact that it looked quite good out of their hand, it's held up the most so far of throws in this round.
Big opportunity for Nexus Flexus here. Great short pass.
We'll cut out ball to Emma Croft. Back. Good tack. It is going to dink and dunk potentially. Until they can see enough. Emma Croft there again.
Another great opportunity taken. Great passes from Nexus Flexus at the moment.
A couple
Misfits.
of good cuts. Looked like they had a bit of an overlap there.
Brilliant recovery from that is number 30 Nexus Flexus. That is, of course, Vicky Liddell. A brilliant catch from her.
She did have an option in the end zone there. Terribly Wickens, but just couldn't connect. Just disc out a bit too far to her left. And ultimately no layout was attempted. Probably the right move. Looked a bit too far out of reach. Going back in and just overthrown a little bit too far. Just the wind got a little bit of a catch there.
Another turnover, of course. Another chance for Nexus Flexus.
Going to have a little bit of stalling there, but managed to carry through.
Great passes.
Nexus clearly came in with a game plan here. Starting out with a bit of a horizontal stack, whilst then leading out a few times, and there was almost a catch for a point there from Becky Liddell, but she wasn't able to haul it in. She had a good effort there. It's definitely on for the play.
Misfits are doing a great job of marking all the players and making sure the Nexus Flexus does not secure these points, but they need to launch it back into the opposite side of the field to give them a bit more of a chance of scoring a point.
They've almost got to work it out a bit slowly. The wind is not really in their favour down here.
No.
There's a few cuts going, but no dump option there.
Great turnover from number 4, Nexus Flexus. That was, of course, Neve Carter Squires.
Cut straight in.
A very quick turnover first throw.
Terrily Wickens looking good there.
Nexus Flexus applying a lot of pressure to the Misfits in the zone.
Oh, heavy contact going in there.
Yes, we have to.
Well, looked like it was held on to, but there'll be a discussion, one would think. Nope, called a goal.
Brilliant. I think she did catch that in the zone, so I think it will count as a point. It was, of course, contact, which is not allowed, but my guess is that was accidental.
No call deferred. Both a good contest for the disc, and yeah, Nexus Flexus take a 2-1 lead. A little bit of a heavy entry pass, and it was a great tack.
Yes, great catch. Number 33, I believe, Nexus Flexus.
83.
83. So Rebecca Lynch
held on to it very well, despite the contact going through there.
The Misfits now have their wind on their side as they have swapped sides each point. So maybe we'll see a bit of an attack from the Misfits this time. As we've seen, the points have only been scored on one side of the field, so potentially the wind is playing more of a factor than we expected.
Rebecca Lynch sharpening up her team. And a little bit of a discussion there from the Misfits. Coach coming in, having a little bit of a chat of where they can improve here. And the puller is ready.
And the Misfits are also ready.
And here we go.
Ooh.
It's a lot lower than we've seen so far, but the wind just take it out of bounds effectively. So of course when the disc does go out of bounds, you establish a pivot point from where the disc left the field, or you can bring it back in and start from the center.
It was good distance, so I'll be interested to see what the Misfits choose. Seems they will be taking it. No, they will be taking it from the center.
Which is probably a good move considering the wind blowing you out that way.
Very true. It'd be hard to get some short passes or potentially a long pass down the field without it going out. Oh, and there we go. A long one straight to number 99. Beautiful catch. Misfits 99. That is, of course, that is Zaria Island. Absolutely beautiful catch. And a point off of it.
Beautiful assist as well. Misfits make it 2-all.
We have a close game today.
Well done by the Misfits. They're making a good solid fist of it. It's a competition, this one. It's Rebecca Lynch tying it off, and that was a nice, clean throw. Had some distance on it.
Great catch.
Island did very well to get there. Bit of a run onto it, and then establish a pivot and straight
Point
into the end zone.
secured by Catherine Fulton. Beautiful.
Clearly, the little bit of coaching there helped.
Of course.
2-all here. Still only at the start of the game. Both sides look very close, to be honest. It's a very evenly matched match.
Wind feels like it might be picking up, but that might just be from where we're commentating.
Slightly higher up than everyone else. I think the low passes have been proven
More
to have a
in
greater
distance.
effect. Exactly. Lower to the ground, you're going to have less wind affecting you. But of course, seen a lot of deep passes, and they've all been pretty darn good.
Yes, we can see a lot of the pools are now a lot lower than they were earlier, although that one seemed to be similar to the other ones. Oh, another catch off of the pull. Very risky if it's dropped, because then it is a turnover, but I'm loving the confidence.
Pivot, but if you do catch it, you can effectively have 1 or 2 throws in before the defense is particularly ready, as they're still trying to catch up with you.
High risk, high reward. Beautiful short pass from Nexus Flexus.
Well adjusted in midair as well to take the catch. Staley threw it back in there.
They're playing behind and waiting for the opportunity to go further forward. Oh, unfortunately, great commitment from Nexus Flexus diving to try catch it, but it is a turnover for the Misfits, who are immediately going into a longer pass.
Set now by Lily Botting.
First time we've seen play down this end of the field. Oh, amazing catch. Number 74 in the Misfits. Or is that 74? Olivia Judd?
Managed to hold on to it. Pull it in with tips of her fingers.
Amazing. Oh, great catch from number 24.
Just looking for a little bit of a dunk inside the end zone. Dumps it off. Perfect assist.
And there we go.
3-2 Misfits.
Great job, Misfits. It's the first point we've seen on the other side of the field, but still a very, very close game.
Egg celebration, they're very happy about it. Just looking for a little dunk. Had the dump off there, and then easy fly in for the assist. Well received. Misfits looking good.
Misfits will be very happy with that play from catching it just before it touched the ground at the halfway point and managing to get it all the way down the field and score that point.
We're flicking backwards and forwards between winners and losers here. We've got Nexus Flexus have taken the lead and now Misfits have taken it back. Emma Doyle now just giving her team some friendly advice, talking some tactics, talking some shop.
We imagine friendly, although I assume friendly.
Oh, it will be friendly. It will be friendly. I have to thank her very much. She helped us with the numbers today. So we were able to do our best to better call who the actual players are. It's always nice. Shout out to Rosie Stevenson and Zaria Idle from Misfits as well.
The pull on the Misfits team is ready. Oh, a very low, very good distance on the pull from Misfits.
Much of a roll on, just into the grass there. So not a bad start position for Nexus.
Make sure at the beginning. Brilliant short pass.
It's a beautiful route.
Oh, great defense from Misfits there.
Just cutting across. Number 6 land. Got a
potential foul, I believe, or just a bit of confusion. Slight hesitation on the field.
Watch that out and see where they're going to go with this. But and we're ready, and we're off again.
And we're off.
Good throw, number 4.
Oh, great distance. It'll be interesting to see if the Misfits can catch this. There'll be some
well adjusted.
Very well adjusted. Just need to get across that line. Fantastic job. Point scored by number 74 on the Misfits. I believe second point by 74, Olivia Judd. I might be mistaken. She may have just made a great pass earlier on, but great job to number 74 on the Misfits.
I think 38, Tessa Swinson also was really keen there. She got in position on this long, deep throw. She readjusted herself with the wind. Was able to take a very good catch and then looked downfield immediately. Looked around, saw her position.
So I believe that takes the score to 2-4 to the Misfits.
Misfits coming back strong here. They're definitely been in position for most of the day, but certainly we've seen some worse positions on the day to come back from, so they'll still be feeling pretty confident.
Still plenty of game left for Nexus Flexus to take this, though.
Aye, they just need to get a little bit of confidence back, just string together a few passes.
The pull from Misfits. Good distance, a bit higher maybe than they expected.
To the slightly windy side of the ball.
Misfits have lost a hat on the field, but the game, of course, is more important. Ooh, very good catch from the 23. Almost touched it on the ground.
Nice low throw as well. Less attack to the wind there.
Much harder to block.
Well, for the switch, but just wasn't able to hold on there.
Unfortunate turnover. Great short passes, though, from Nexus Flexus.
Just trying to get themselves a little bit of momentum to get back into this.
Misfits are putting on a lot of pressure, though. I'll be interested to see if they just go long, as they seem to usually place someone quite far down the field and go for a long pass.
Both sides have managed to pay.
There we go. It might be happening. No, unfortunately, not enough air time. But number 24 was there, ready to receive from the Misfits. Just roll it.
The person-to-person defense has been incredibly tight. Looks quite good.
Ooh, if this is a catch, this could be great for Nexus Flexus, getting it back on their side of the field. Brilliant. Very far gone.
There's some mic issues here as we currently looking down the field. Nexus Flexus with a nice short pass there.
Putting on a lot of pressure. Oh, they might have just... Brilliant jumping catch from number 73 in Nexus Flexus. Emma Croft, amazing point scored just then. Nexus Flexus not giving up.
See a replay here. Did a nice little switch. Wasn't much going, so see open field down the end. It was a lovely take.
Brilliant job.
Good pass from Rebecca Lynch.
That takes the score up to 4-3.
Seen some very good assists. It's a very good lead-up play. But in the end, it's all about your route running just before you take that final catch.
The pull now from Nexus Flexus. How does the pull work? Who starts off the pull, depending? Is it just alternating?
The pull is always going to start from the team that's just scored.
Ah, I see.
So basically, you've scored, that's your new position. You get to stay there and you get to pull the this down. And the team that was defending will then receive the pull and be on the attack.
Brilliant.
There's a lot, like most ball sports in general these days. Works quite well.
Great pull from Nexus Flexus. It'll be interesting to see whether this lands inbounds. It does. Great distance.
Very close.
Misfits take it immediately before Nexus Flexus has a chance to get into position. Person-on-person defense is quite strong though.
They've been playing very tight both sides. Hasn't been a heck of a lot of pressure, but it's done the job.
Ooh, great length from the Misfits, slowly pushing it up the field.
They will get some distance from that person to person, just able to create some clean passages to throw into. Nice short pass there.
Right, just trying to find the opportunity to pass it further up the field. Nexus Flexus keeping the pressure on all of the players.
Sometimes a dump off there is the simplest move. A little bit of backwards to go forwards for the distance pass.
Unfortunately, just too high for any player to catch.
Didn't go to hand, but the intent was there. Remains 4-3.
Great throws. Nexus Flexus need to get this up the field. Oh, great pass.
It's time from your defensive end, so it's always a tough ask, but you can string some small short game together. May help, especially going into the wind. A little bit of a
good turnover. I believe the wind may have just changed the angle of that frisbee just a bit more than Nexus Flexus were expecting.
Just went out of the hand, just slightly wrong, but
Misfits not even giving them a moment.
A little bit of miscommunication there.
Another turnover.
This goes to the ground, unfortunately.
Turnover to Misfits, who didn't wait. Very fast turnovers here.
Look, sometimes you've got to take the opportunity whilst it stands, especially when you've got an attack opportunity that close to a scoring point.
If you find yourself near the end zone,
yep, you
and
should.
It's a turnover, you almost do want to go immediately before anyone on the opposite team gets the chance to start marking players, especially in person-on-person.
Exactly. If you've got an open person in the end zone, like we do here, beautiful adjustment.
Great throw from the Misfits. The frisbee perfectly floated down to the players. They had two people willing to catch those, but I believe number 10 from the Misfits caught that. Catherine Fulton, again, brilliant job.
And just a little bit of good defensive pressure here.
All conversation from the coaches. I believe that holds the Misfits' lead of 2 points that they've been trying to hold for most of this game, but it's still extremely close. Nexus Flexus are not far behind. The game is far from over.
Still 67 minutes left, still a lot of time.
right, Misfits are ready. Nexus Flexus are also ready. That's, of course, what the hand up means. Great pull from 99. Good drop. Great turnover for the Misfits there.
Just a miscommunication. Almost a lead on. Looked like I wanted to throw onto a run-on person there. But
another turnover.
Both sides attempting to move the disc rather quickly there. Not using up their stall count at all. It's a good little route run there. Becky Liddell moving into open space.
Nexus Flexus with the wind on their side. I imagine they'll still try for a couple of short passes. Oh,
trying to
great
bend it around the
catch.
corner. And unfortunately, wind just takes control.
Jumping catch from number 99.
Doing the job.
Zaria Ireland, a beautiful pull at the start and a great catch there. Lots of turnovers. They now have it again. Misfits are putting on a lot of pressure in this game today.
Rosie Stevenson there, just not able to connect.
Fortunate turnover.
Just looking for a little dump-off opportunity. Just didn't connect, but the intent was there.
Nexus Flexus is taking the throw almost immediately. If this is a catch,
well
great
tipped.
defense from the Misfits there.
Both players looking to adjust here the wind, and we've got a bit of a break here. There's a bit of a heavy landing, it looked like.
The price of a good defense. I hope they are okay.
It's a contact discussion foul. We'll see what happens.
Of course, in the instance of a foul, every player remains standing in the position that the foul was made from.
So neither side really gets an advantage. But, yes, we'll work through this. See what they're going to come up with eventually. It did look like there was a bit of contact there, but like a contact call has been made.
Number 11 has been subbed.
She did have a bit of a heavy landing.
Completely fair. Brigitte Legg played brilliant. Unfortunately, maybe we'll see more of them later in the game. But great gameplay.
Of course, the disc now goes back from where it was originally thrown. And we're back underway.
Here we go. Nexus Flexus now opting for the shorter passes.
A little dump back.
Ooh, brilliant catch. Wind took that a bit higher than they probably expected. Great short passes here from Nexus Flexus. Unfortunately, just not able to catch it further down the field. Just taken around them. Misfits will now take the turnover. It'll be interesting to see whether they go short or long here, because it is in person-on-person marking.
Sometimes when the disc flies up a bit, it's a little bit hard to take it on the run.
Oh, very good catch from number 9. A little bit of a fumble in the air, but definitely secured it in the end. Great catch and turnover.
It's where person-to-person defense works at the best, is where you can tell someone's going to throw it directly to who you're guarding.
Then you get a great intercept, and Nexus Flexus taking the turnover immediately. Fortunate turnover for Nexus Flexus.
Wiggins was just looking around for an option there, wasn't able to connect. Zaria Ireland's going to hold the disc from the looks of things.
Potentially a short pass to number 74. A brilliant long pass from Zaria.
It's a wide open.
22, great catch. A lot of distance down the field.
Just roll, I think that is.
Those throws make up a lot of the game.
Zaria Ireland making up all the ground to set up an assist for the Misfits. It's another point, 6-3.
Great gameplay here from the Misfits, just pushing it all the way down the field and then a couple short passes to get it in the end zone.
Just a little admirable moment from Zaria, who ran about, I want to say, 30 metres very quickly to get into position, just to set up an assist. Just roll, looking around for an option, found it in Zaria, made solid effort, and then straight into the end zone. That was number 96. I believe that's Rosie Stevenson scoring. Doing a good job. She was initially told me to call everyone on her team Rosie. I'm glad I haven't done that.
A little bit of team discussion before the play resumes.
I think we've got a timeout here, which means that both teams will get a chance to reflect on what they've done and strategize a little bit. Exactly. Well, the Misfits have been looking good. I think it's almost, they've just been able to follow up their display with a lot of hard running and getting into the right positions. They've managed to, unfortunately, Nexus have given away some of the turnovers in some, shall we say, difficult positions for them to defend.
Fair, fair. Misfits have made a couple great long passes and pushed the Frisbee all the way down the field, and I really think that's where they've secured, with catches from those long passes, all the points. But the game is not over yet. It's still quite close. It'll be interesting to see any tactics changing with these team discussions. I imagine we'll still see some person-on-person marking. Can't imagine that'll change.
Whilst we're discussing this, there is a very exciting game, as you can probably hear, happening behind us. A bit of a shout out. We've got about 5 games going at once in the lovely field throughout today. We've got a gorgeous view of the hills nearby. It's a lovely day for Frisbee. We've got a bit of a cold wind blowing across for those of us who are sheltered. But I think out in the sun, you'd be feeling pretty happy with how the weather has treated you today.
Beautiful blue skies. Great day for Frisbee. It's always good to have a bit of wind as well. It takes those long passes a bit further as long as you're going the right way down the field.
It also helps for the heavy running, something like a bit of a nice breeze. If it was a perfectly still day, we'd be having some very unhappy players.
A lot of water breaks. 60 minutes left in the game. Misfits 6, Nexus Flexus 3, and we will be resuming play, looks like soon.
Because Misfits now, I think, just looking to get to half-time with that lead intact. They've done a good job to this point.
I believe Misfits with the pull.
Just having a bit of a final chat as to who's going to take the field, I think. Of course, 7-on-7 and all points.
15 minutes to half-time. It'll be interesting to see how many points will be scored. I feel like I'm quite new to the sport, but I feel like it's been quite a fast-scoring game. What would you say?
Yeah, it sort of depends. I think there's been a lot of turnovers. You occasionally will get some games where it's incredibly clean, especially on a day like today with a bit of wind. If a side can get running and just do very, very deep throws downfield, you can have a game get to 8 points in about 20 minutes or so. And here we go.
Of course, because halftime either comes to 45 minutes playtime or a team getting to 8 points, as the game does end at 15 points.
Nexus looking to build up, just a little bit of too low a pass, so trying to get the forehand up. Sometimes it's a bit difficult to throw that forehand. Just couldn't get the height behind it.
Misfits with the short passes, person on person. Oh, unfortunate turnover. Nexus Flexus do have an opportunity here.
Misfits have done a really good job in getting in front of their person defense and just creating targets for the thrower to throw to.
They've not made it easy on the Nexus Flexus defenders who are trying to mark their players. As you can see, there's a lot of movement from all the players on the pitch today.
Unfortunately, a little bit of a throw out of bounds there, but Misfits get the reset, and they're just very, very short pass away from scoring again. There we go, a perfect run.
Points secured by number 4 on the Misfits.
I am Guardy Squares.
Emma Whitlock. I apologise, Emma Whitlock.
I'm looking at Nexus Flexus. Terrible. Of course, 7-3 now.
We'll either see half-time when one more point is scored by Misfits, or I believe in the coming 10 minutes or so, or maybe a bit more. Great pressure from the Misfits, though. It's got to be hard for Nexus Flexus there. They were pretty close to the side there. It was not far for them to take the Frisbee to score that point. Bit of team discussion.
You'd almost, if you were Nexus, you'd almost, well, I mean, I'm sure they've trained a lot of person to person, but you almost consider just going a bit of zone, because clearly there's just some gaps that seem to be opening up. The Misfits are taking full advantage. Maybe having a single free defender might be able to help that. Neither side really having a dump-off player, a player behind the Frisbee, so is always an emergency outlet option. Neither side have really done that today.
Great pull from the Misfits, just slowly dropping down. It'll be interesting to see whether Nexus Flexus tries to catch. No, they do leave it, so they have an easier turnover. Great catch from number 83 there.
Quickly gets out to Rebecca Lynch there. She tries to thread the needle, but
great defense from the Misfits there. Swatting their frisbee down to the ground for the turnover. And they're taking it immediately, keeping the pressure on it. Number 6, trying to get there. Unfortunately not. It seems like it would have landed out of bounds, but great pressure there from the Misfits.
It was a good effort trying to get there alone. Just wasn't able to connect. Ella Lamb, of course, number 6 there for Misfits. Just couldn't catch up with the disc.
We're seeing a lot of quick turnovers, especially from Nexus Flexus. I wouldn't be surprised if Misfits took it immediately here. Great pass, a lot of pressure from number 8 here with the Misfits. Let's see if they can secure this point. Taking it further back to see whether they can push it forward. A lot of pressure from the Nexus Flexus defenders though here. Brilliant defense from Nexus Flexus.
They don't want this to get to halftime.
Number 54 swatting that to the ground on Nexus Flexus. That is, oh, my apologies, I may have misread that number.
Lucy Ashford, potentially 64.
64. Change in frisbee.
I think it went out of bounds there.
Oh, I see. Same frisbee.
Same frisbee.
Just differently moved
different
locations.
access, different pivot point. And already a DD throw looking for Ella Lamb again, who's been running down to that deep end zone point consistently.
But Nexus Flexus are just swatting these out of the air and not letting them stay in the end zone.
Ella Lamb creating some very good options.
Playing short.
Just over Rebecca Lynch. She's
great
able
catch.
to be tipped back into her hands.
Secured. No turnover.
It's a great team effort there. I think it was Emma Doyle knocking it back.
Great catch. That one had quite some speed on it. Number 35 on Nexus Flexus securing that.
A bit more speed means it's just a slightly harder catch, but
Fortunate crossover. It seems maybe the ground she may have slipped under.
it looked like Rebecca Lynch just took a step too far inside to try and catch that, so they've had to readjust. Just couldn't do it. And we're going a deep throw here.
Immediately.
Perfect.
Great catch from number 30. I believe that takes us to halftime then.
Emma Whitlock to Tessa Swinson, and we'll be going to halftime shortly, but just look at this throw. Go at about 20, 25 metres of ground, and it looked really good. Emma Swinson just on the end of it, got free of her fence, and was able to create a good lead.
Nexus Flexus doing a great job of defence, but Misfits are just applying more and more pressure, just trying to keep it
So
on that half of the
here we
field.
are, we're just about to go into halftime, the 8-point break. Misfits up 8-3, and we'll see you back in about 5 minutes time, shall we say. I'm Richard Harris.
And I'm Will Druzianic.
See you soon. And welcome back. New Zealand Norman Championship, day 1, round 3, Misfits versus Nexus Flexus.
Drifting into the second half.
Come back to you, Misfits leading 8-3 after Nexus Flexus broke out of the gates with an early lead. They were very hyped up at half time. You could hear them cheering away.
Wouldn't be surprised if I saw a lot of pressure from Nexus Flexus here, trying to secure those points and catch back up to the Misfits.
Of course, Frisbee not over until the 15-point mark is reached or we run out of time. So they've got plenty of opportunity to come back here. Of course, Misfits leading 8-3 at the half. They came back strong after being down early.
Close at the start, but the Misfits have taken a lot of opportunities and brought them all the way to the end zone where they've scored quite a couple points.
It's just their assist game, their ability to follow the disc, their ability to connect, especially on the deep throw, has been looking really good.
Pull is ready from Nexus Flexus, and we are on.
Rebecca Lynch not getting a lot of distance, but the roll is well, it was looking like it was going to help a bit, but it has turned.
Stopped by Nexus Flexus before it turned further into their half, but the Misfits may take this opportunity.
Well, they've got great field position to start with.
Passing
a bit of a dump off and
unfortunate turnover at the beginning of the half. A couple quick turnovers.
A little bit of a mistake there from Brigitte Legg.
Great short passes though from Nexus Flexus. Be interesting to see if they make this catch.
Oh,
great steal from Misfits.
Looked like some contact there. Ooh, it was a bad fall.
Definitely not intentional from any player. Assistance from Zaria, which is quite kind. We will now
hopefully just
play.
A cramp and nothing too bad. Just did look like a bit of an awkward stumble there.
It was a great, don't get us wrong, great steal and turnover for Misfits, but obviously less injuries the better, but none was intentional. So we will probably see resume and play pretty soon, but it's great to see some sportsmanship from Misfits here.
Heavy contest in the air, but you never want to see someone go down. See, very ginger as she walks off and is replaced.
14, Emma Doyle.
Back on, I think that was Terry Wickens running off.
Play will resume when Nexus Flexus makes contact with the Frisbee that Zaria is holding.
Yeah. Terry Lee will be all right for the next match. She's done pretty well today. Just not able to hold that one in. Would have been a very good effort.
Play resumes though pretty soon.
And we're ready. Sorry, Arlen with the disc.
Immediate pass backwards.
Brigitte Legg.
Ooh,
and
turnover back to Nexus Flexus.
Like Tammy Lashai, just unable to hold on to it. And it's a brave little switch attempt, but
yes. Very low, very long distance. Easy to swat at for Misfits, but if it had gone through, it would have been a great pass from Nexus Flexus.
Very well read. Looked like a bit of a contact call.
Now pause positions, discussion, and resume play. Even the casual passes from the teams are quite impressive.
A little bit of a discussion had here, but very quickly agreed to. And it looks like a switch of play, and oh dear, sorry, just missing connection as the wind gusts up heavily. Don't know if the wind caught it or it was just a bit of an overestimation there. But now Nexus Flex is in a great position.
Secure this point.
And they're looking to do a bit of a vertical stack, I think, from the looks of things.
Yes, I think we've gone away from the person.
It still looks pretty close.
Oh, this could
Back
be it.
in the
Brilliant point from Nexus Flexus.
Well read.
Closing that lead that Misfits has on them.
It was Gabby Staley scoring. So a lovely little read there. Running into the back of the end zone.
So important
Good catch.
when facing the end zone, finding that point that you can weave through the players and just find one of your own players ready to catch it and secure
But also
that point.
one of the very key things right at the end zone there was the positioning. She was able to get right at the back unguarded. And yeah, you've got to make a good throw to connect. But if you're able to get free at the back of the end zone, you can get your feet in. It's a perfect opportunity, and Nexus Flexus took full advantage.
Well executed.
As it's 8-4.
Quite the game today.
Just a little bit of discussion from Misfits, as they've done at every point.
A lot of team discussion.
it's worked out well for them. They've managed to come out to a slow start, and they've worked out a system that's worked well.
Very true. They've secured quite the lead, but Nexus Flexus are applying enough pressure where I think they may need to put a bit more into it.
Of course, they'll be looking to avoid making mistakes so close to their own defensive end zone.
That's when the pressure is on.
And here comes the pull.
Great pull. A lot of distance from Nexus Flexus.
With the wind this time.
Just in bounds as well.
No roll. A little quick throw back inside.
Misfits doing the short passes towards the back, trying to find gaps further forward.
And that one just a little bit too high. It was a good effort there.
Turnover to Nexus Flexus.
Kirsten Clark just not able to hold it in. And Misfits, I'm not sure if that was the intentional pass. So attempt to pick it up off the ground, just didn't get there.
Misfits taking it immediately.
And it's a deep throw looking for Zara Allen, but gets held up in the wind. That's well held.
From 24 Misfits.
Just roll, doing a job there.
That reach and that jump was brilliant off to Zaria.
Saving potential disaster. Yep.
Zaria's been responsible for many assists in this game, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Travel call?
Minor discussion.
Been a bit foul-y. More fouls in this game than we've seen in our previous couple.
There's always a lot of pressure, though, in the second half to really make some points happen. So I wouldn't be surprised if people were just focusing a lot more on their plays and applying as much pressure as they can. Applying pressure is the name of the game here in Ultimate Frisbee. Player will resume.
It did look like she just played on a bit too fast there and didn't establish a proper pivot point with her feet, which is when you stick yourself in the ground.
I see.
A couple of dink and duck passes, just looking to avoid any stall calls.
A lot of pressure on Zaria at the moment.
Just letting their end zone do the job, and she was able to fake it beautifully. Managed to, I think, sell 2 defenders there.
Number 11 going for
a little bit of a switch.
Is that the chance?
Perfect take.
Misfits taking another point. Number 9, I believe.
Number 9 and number 5. I thought it was Steph King Griffin from looks of things.
It is number 5.
The long hair occasionally will block our view of the numbers. Apologies, folks. But a little couple short passes, and then it was a beautiful looking switch there.
Misfits 9 to Nexus Flexus' 4.
There's a lovely little assist by number 11 there. Looked like Brigitte Legg. Straight to Steph King Griffin, who was doing a great little route.
More discussion from Misfits. Probably some congratulations in order as well, as they are securing some fantastic points. Nexus Flexus still applying great pressure and really trying to block as much as they can, but the defenders were slightly outdone by the fake from, I believe, Zaria, or potentially 2 Zaria.
There was just selling the fake for 2 defenders, and you're able to get yourself that little bit more time. You might lose a stalling call as the defenders looking to dive and hit the disc down.
It's the time and space that you need. Misfits ready with the pull.
Very least you can rearrange and get some freedom for your offense to move around to the end zone. And we're able to work it in quite nicely. Ball with the wind again. It goes quite a distance. No real roll on it, but stops about 3/4 of the way down the field.
Nexus Flexus waiting. Number 14 to see if they can find an opportunity. Great pass. Nice and low to the ground.
Wickens back up, it looks like, which is good to see.
We've seen some great short passes from Nexus Flexus here. Working their way slowly up the field.
There we go, deep, trying to thread around the corner.
A lot of pressure on this player.
Just too deep.
Unfortunately, just ahead of number 73.
Emma Croft there, looking to get there. She had a step on, but just wasn't able to. The throw didn't really wrap around there enough for her.
Nexus Flexus will have to apply a lot of pressure to each player to make sure that the frisbee doesn't just go straight back to where they sent it from.
Of course, Misfits are able to walk it out of the end zone when that sort of defensive play shuts down an end zone throw. You can walk it back to just into the field of play. She goes for a hammer attempt.
Wow.
Just too long. It was a wide open play there as well.
First one of the day that I've seen. If it just stayed inwards or was a secure catch, that would have been a great play. Would have taken the frisbee almost just past halfway.
Slightly over, and then it would have been an open field.
Great opportunity here for Nexus Flexus, though.
At the very least, what it did was gain some distance.
Unfortunately, I do believe one of the Nexus Flexus players had their view blocked by another player. Unfortunately, just couldn't see where that frisbee went.
There's a wide open player here.
Great catch from the Misfits, keeping it inbound.
Just man-to-man. They're looking a bit slow here, Nexus Flexus.
The person-to-person marking has been fantastic.
They've got a couple of wide open options in the end zone, but they don't go there.
Unfortunate turnover. Just fell through the hands. Nexus Flexus immediately just putting a lot of pressure and doing a lot of plays to try and make space for their players.
Good little double back run there where players stopped, turned around and came back. It's a bit of a comeback route, and Surrey Island just comes through and intercepts the disc. Sets up again for Misfits. Just slowing it down a little bit, seeing who can make a lead open.
Passes between players, just slowly making their way up the field. This is how points are secured.
Just been unable to keep steppers.
Great low pass, just above the ground. A lot of distance.
Just too long. It's a good effort. They worked it down the field incredibly well.
Great speed and movement between the players, moving it up and down the pitch quite a lot. Just no points have been secured. Both teams doing a great job of making sure the other team cannot score. This will be an interesting
dangerous
catch.
Dangerous little pass.
Great job from Nexus Flexus.
It held up really well, I think.
Great catch from number 64, Lucy Ashford.
This goes to ground there.
Fortunate turnover, which the Misfits do take quickly.
They're capitalizing immediately. We've got some.
Fortunate turnover.
Once again, they're just missing that little bit of connection before the end zone.
Nexus Flexus do need to get the frisbee into the other side of the field.
We got a timeout called, I think. They have a 75-second break to chat over it. It has been a very long point.
Misfits probably looking for another team discussion.
I think it's just an opportunity to stop and reflect on what's happened.
Completely fair. That's how changes are made. See what's working, see what's not, adjust, and then keep attacking.
And especially with a point that's gone on as long as this one has, just a point to just sit back, catch your breath a bit, reflect on what's happened, and maybe come up with a little plan from the restart. 9-4, Misfits doing incredibly well today.
37 minutes on the clock. In my personal opinion, I believe we will probably see this game to its end. I'll be surprised if Misfits can take it all the way up to 15, but I'll be very interested to see where it goes, because I feel like even though Nexus Flexus are not far behind, it still feels like quite the close game.
Well, of course, it doesn't always go up to 15 in Frisbee. We've had the opportunity this morning of seeing some one very speedy game and one very, very close to the end game. I think it just went a little bit close to the end of the hard cap, which is the time where all the games had to be called off. And that was, of course, Spring Chickens versus Zodiac at the start.
Were both games, did they both finish at 15?
They both got to 15. Spring Chickens taking the win in the first game, and the second game, Cogs lost to... there's a good question. Damn, I was here. It's been a long morning, fellas.
There's been a lot of games of the tournament. We've been following a lot of games. There's a lot of teams.
Valley Cats. Aha, I knew it would come to be.
Better the memory than I, as it seems the teams are storming back to the pitch. At least Misfits might be ready.
I just kept remembering the name T-Top Smith. The name will haunt some of my nightmares, clearly. His ability to catch a disc was superb in that second game.
Make sure to tune in the next coming days as games continue. I believe 6 games tomorrow.
I believe it's 5 as well. We've got a bit of a final game of the day. Should be a bit of a showcase, which should be good to look forward to. We've got a Barbarians side against a select side. So the game at the end of today will be a women's ultimate game, New Zealand Women's versus New Zealand Barbarians, and the game tomorrow, 5th game of the day, will be a Opens Barbarians game. So.
And of course, on Sunday, the games leading up to the final, which I recommend you all tune into, as it will be quite the game. Play will be resuming from the same positions.
Of course. And here we go. Nice little lead.
Turnover.
set up. Mason starting off very well. Just getting into space and was able to set up this little run.
Nexus Flexus applying the pressure.
They just need to get some movement, get almost some speed into their route running, just to get a little bit free.
True, they've been making a lot of space, but speed is something they probably trade over finding their opportunities and making those passes.
A couple of fakes. Just getting in front of your marker is really key.
Great fast pass there from
Just
Nexus
looking for a
Flexus.
cut in.
Can they find the
Perfect
pass?
angle for us, as we can see a couple of, there's some very good marking going down, not a lot of movement.
Misfits are not making it easy.
Trying to turn the corner, but it was, I believe, tips at the start and then run through and tipped again. Some great
By
defense there.
74, Olivia Judd, great turnover, swatting it to the ground, making sure Misfits get to take the Frisbee and send it out of there into the field.
The under-20 women
Great
shining here today.
catch there from number
And
8.
look at this.
Wow.
Open space, just not able to complete it.
Fortunately, went a bit further than they expected, but still great distance achieved in just 2 or 3 passes from Misfits. Zaria.
Tessa Swinson there running onto it, just not able to catch up with the disc, just a little bit deeper, but she had all the space in the world.
Zaria Ireland to Hannah Clark and almost secured a point. Brilliant gameplay from the Misfits. Nexus Flexus immediately applying back the pressure, doing a brilliant catch there, just the tips of the fingers for number 31.
At that point, when you're that close to the end zone, it's almost better just to secure a catch and then have someone rush past you and just have a little quick dunk off there. So Nexus Flexus unfortunately turn it over again. Misfits tried to move it on quickly, but turn it over straight back.
Positions unfortunately not favourable for the pass.
Just looking for a little bit of a simple dump-off pass back. Just a little bit of a go backwards to go forwards mentality.
This has been quite the lengthy play, a point not scored in a while, because if you do remember, this is continuing from before the timeout.
Neither side have just managed to get a handle at this point, which really shows a lot to defense. Like, both sides have done spectacularly trying to keep
Very true. We're
forcing
seeing a great
these
offense.
deep throws.
We're seeing great offense, but just as equally good defense.
But ultimately, if you can force pressure aside enough where you're forced into making even a deep throw just to get out of your own defensive almost third, it's going to affect a little bit as Misfits to try the exact same thing almost.
We're seeing a lot of long, deep passes that are resulting in quick turnovers, a lot of distance, but
The problem with these deep passes, the wind is just picking them up and altering them enough so that you're going to have to almost consider that before you throw.
same with the catches. It is hard for them to tell where the Frisbee will be going, and it is not easy to run with while looking up.
It's tough to adjust, especially when looking into the sun, which is what Nexus Flexes have to do on this point, is they're looking directly into it.
Ooh, great catch there.
Sun, of course, on the right of your screens, beaming down fantastically.
Number 31, Nexus Flexus Pippa Mason doing a great job of securing a lot of short passes.
Two going for the interception. It wouldn't have mattered if they batted down. Just Zaria Island able to turn it around to a counter-attacking opportunity, but not able to get there.
Very close for number 38 on the Misfits.
Tessa Swinson has been going deep the entire time. She just hasn't been able to get a handle on some of these points. Some of these connected. You think the Misfits might have been up 10 or 11 this stage. Nexus now just resetting from about halfway.
I will say Misfits have had a great couple intercepts every time Nexus Flexus has tried to push it down the side of the field, but they have not been able to secure any catches further down the field with those deep passes.
You can tell both teams are starting to tie because there's not a lot of movement from either side whilst the holder is looking downfield for anything.
That's what happens. They've been playing for just around an hour now. They're bound to get tired, especially with the amount of dedication these players are having. A great catch for number 35 there in Nexus Flexus. Stacey Mather.
Never give up until the disc hits the ground, because you'll just have the opportunity, especially if the wind picks it up and draws it back to you, to the very least lay out, dive across and try and get it. And that's a beautiful play on the disc there by Zaria Island. Doesn't get turned over, but disrupts it enough for it to send to ground and turn it back over to the Misfits. And a low
Great
pass.
turnover from Nexus Flexus, just taking that catch and immediately pushing up the field.
Counter-attack is on. There's someone running past short, doesn't use it. Be happy, looking for the stalling count now.
Pass backwards. Nexus Flexus looking for their opportunity, making some distance up the field. Could this... unfortunately not. Unfortunately, I think the angle of the Frisbee just took it the other direction.
Here. Looked like, I think, contact on the throat, potentially. It's tough to see some of the hand signals from up in the commentary booth, ladies and gentlemen. I do apologise.
Our best opportunities we will, of course, potentially see it in the replay, or we will just see a resume and play, as it is not a big deal with contact, as it just returns back to the position it was thrown in. Nexus Flexus did not lose their opportunity to get this point.
It looks like the disc is going over to the Misfits now.
So I was incorrect.
They'll start from that deep corner inside, right next to their own defensive end zone. They've thrown the disc quite deep on some of these, so it'll be interesting to see if they do it again.
If they do, I would like to see a pass. Zaria going for the catch.
Oh, lays out. Did you get a hold of that? No.
No, unfortunately not. A great dedication from Zaria.
Looking just to get a couple of fingertips on it. Might have just brushed it.
Nexus Flexus taking this opportunity again. A lot of people in the end zone here.
Just not enough movement. Just more movement. It's a nice little throw in, but just not able to connect once again.
Just comes out of the fingers. Unfortunate.
Tightness from this point. Nexus, you just want to see them running a little bit more, creating a couple more opportunities for the thrower, especially in that attacking position. You'd think at the end of this point, everyone's subbing off.
Everyone needs their time off. It's 7 aside, I believe.
7 aside. Still 9-4. I feel like this point has gone on for about 25 minutes now.
This has been, I mean, it would be close to that. It's been...
Shows how competitive and how close these two teams have been.
Neither are letting up and letting the other team secure that point.
Nexus with the disc once again.
It has mainly been down on their side of the field.
Stacey Mather, I think they're just running a little bit of a decent route.
Potential catch,
up
great
there, and there we go.
Catch. Fantastic job there.
Points. Oh, everyone can take a breath.
Point turnover. I'm sure the Misfits will have a lengthy discussion, as well as Nexus Flexus, even if it's just to recover breath. Quite the point there. Great job from Nexus Flexus securing that.
On the replay here, just a little bit of a dink across right. Stacey Mather running into a bit of distance, and then looking downfield.
Great pass there.
Finds with her vision at least a decent contest, and that's all you really want sometimes.
Number 31, Pippa Mason for Nexus Flexus. Great point secured there. I believe that takes the score to 9-5.
It does indeed, sir.
Nexus Flexus approaching Misfits soon. They are not letting up. I believe that's the last 2 points scored by... I might be mistaken.
No, the last 2 points, I think it was. It's been such a long time. No, look, I'm sure you saw it at home, ladies and gentlemen, but half the Nexus Flexus players just passed out, lying down. He needed the break after that. I think both sides are tired after that. Very, very elongated point. We had a timeout in the middle. Even that was not enough.
Discuss tactics, sub-players, catch your breath, and then now Nexus Flexus are ready with the pull. A great pull from Nexus Flexus, some great distance. Misfits, of course, letting it hit the ground.
Managed to get 3/4 away in open field. That's always a good pull. You always want to get a lot of distance on it.
We've seen the Misfits go for a lot of deep passes. It'll be interesting to see if they continue this.
Well, they are going upwind now, so I'm not sure they'll be as keen. But having said that, they did go quite a lot to LLM earlier on today.
Great passing there, just getting it over. Oh, unfortunate turnover there. Just went over the two. It was a great pass from Misfits, soaring over the head of two defenders.
Kirsten Clark there just looking downfield, just thinking what her next throw is going to be, and just didn't get a hold of it. Very, very similar little movement there. I think she applied a lot of pressure and made up for it on the stalling count. So
always good to get a turnover immediately after losing a turnover that you feel like you could have got.
Looks like almost... couldn't tell there whether they were just converting to a zone briefly. They were just holding off a little bit.
Great catch there.
A nice little interception there by, looked like number 83, Rebecca Lynch.
Nexus Flexus applying the pressure with the wind behind them. Unfortunately, just gone over. It'll be interesting to see where the Misfits immediately take this.
There's a problem with too heavy a throw.
And they have. Will it go straight to the end zone? It does.
Glorious little throw. I think it was Bridget Legg throwing that.
Fantastic play. It's in those opportunities where there's a turnover, and you, of course, don't have many players marking your players.
Picks it up,
they've
goes
been on
straight
offense.
into the end zone. That's what you like to see, a quick-fire turnover, a quick-fire reception from number 3, Lily Botting.
A much quicker point that then takes the score up to 10 for the Misfits and 5 for Nexus Flexus. A very close game. Misfits are, of course, ahead, but they have not been...
It's been a lot closer than the scoreline would probably give away, at the very least.
Yes, it doesn't feel like any team has been extremely ahead. I just believe that Misfits have made a couple great plays that have put them those couple points ahead. But
in the end, it's all about making the most of your scoring opportunities, and Misfits have just done better, just enough to get the lead and hold the lead, most especially. The fact that they're able to stall out Nexus for as long as they have from scoring has been fun to watch, if nothing else.
Very true. Nexus Flexes have had some great intercepts. Is there a term for when they swat the frisbee down to the ground?
I always just call it for me, a great defensive play.
It is a great defensive play. We can all agree on that. Nothing's more satisfying than seeing the player on one of the teams just swat it to the ground. Just joy from the team. Great pull from...
all the way to the end zone. First time I think I've seen that all day, and I think I've been here from the start.
Wind definitely assisted there, but Nexus Flexes have a lot of ground to make up now.
Oh!
And a great
Ella
intercept.
Lamb looking from a pick. We're going to have a discussion about that.
Potential contact, I believe. If that's... Am I correct in saying it may have been swatted out of the hand?
I think Ella Lamb there might have committed a contact foul. Going back, having a discussion, and...
Resuming play.
Yep, she's accepted.
Nexus Flexes do want to get this out of this area.
Trying to thread the needle between about 2 or 3 defenders, just wasn't able to get it going.
So it's applying.
It's a tough little forehand there. So
the
wind decides to make itself known once again.
It'll be interesting to see how Nexus Flexes get out of this. There's a lot of pressure being put on their end zone at the moment. It just will take one good pass and one good catch to secure this point. Another hammer throw. Oh, could it just perfectly fall down?
No. That's the negative you get with some of those hammers. If they come down, they may well come down incredibly quickly.
Hard to throw, hard to catch, but when they work, they do a great job.
It's arguably one of the greatest things to watch, a perfect hammer throw and reception.
Because it's not what you imagine when you think of a frisbee throw. You don't imagine anyone throwing it.
Well, I think anyone watching frisbee is going to even look at a forehand if they're new to the game and go, good lord, how do I do that? I recommend everyone watching who's not able to attend.
Great point there. Just a turnover. Number 3 making themselves very available for the turnover to just go straight to them and secure that point.
Number 4 to number 3. So looks like Emma Whitlock picking up the disc and throwing to Lily Botting. It was just a case that Lily got ahead of her defender, who looked like Rebecca Lynch there. Was just able to create a quick point, and I think that's where the Misfits have really excelled as they make it 11-5 today. Especially from turnovers deep in the Nexus side of the field. Just able to create a couple of quick throws to get straight into the end zone.
A lot of points being traded. We're now seeing a lot more back and forward than in the first half.
Ultimately here, we've got Misfits having another chat. They're just wanting to determine where they go next.
Unfortunately, they will not be able to achieve the same pull that they did last time, as they will be hitting into the wind. If that is managed, though, we will be thoroughly impressed.
A good pull here will... any good pull at any point, a great starting position defensively is going to create it that much easier for you, because it's much harder to have a full field to march down to get a score than it is, say, a half-distance throw. This is going to go at least a third. It actually might be one of the best pulls I've seen into the wind today.
That is great. That has made a good amount of distance. But yes, when you're in danger is when the opposing team is close to the end zone and a short pass can secure them the point. The long passes you can manage, but short passes, a lot of the players all find themselves in the end zone. Nexus Flexes applying a lot of pressure, trying to find some space.
We've got a couple of little dump-off options if they want to use it. Just looking, they've got a lot of options just behind them, just in case stalling gets too deep.
Great fake to a pass there. Oh, number 20-something available for the passes. 23, great job.
Of course, when you've got a pivot point established, you've got 10 seconds before you've got to get it off. So just having 1 or 2 options nearby to throw back to, which Nexus are really looking to provide here in this point.
They've got these person-on-person markings, but a lot of Nexus Flexes players have players available beside and behind them.
It's just about keeping the disc going. If you're able to get that pressure just substantiate just a little bit move from you. You don't have the pressure to throw downfield. Just do a little bit left to right passing, tiny little passes, keep the clock going, keep your stall clock active, and then you can have a better option downfield to get to later. Or as you can see, realistically, they've gained about, I want to say 15, 20 metres doing these little passes. They're able to get inside a little box that's been set up.
Very true. You can always go for the deep pass and pray for a catch. But these short passes that are all just successful and well executed slowly make their way up the field.
There is, I think it's been spotted, but there was a player downfield there.
Yes, they're now being marked, but I wouldn't be surprised. Oh, unfortunate turnover. They made a lot of ground there. Potentially a deep pass to the end zone is what they needed. But Misfits will now be taking this and sending it back up the field.
Almost delayed it just a little too much. It looked like number, I want to say 73 there, Emma Croft was sitting there waiting end zone. Just wasn't picked up.
Unfortunate drop there. Back to Nexus Flexus. A lot of short passes between Nexus Flexus, just really trying to use their technique to just get further and further up the field. Oh, a lovely deep pass. This could be at 38. Oh, unfortunately, just ahead of them, unable to secure it. It'll go back to Misfits as a turnover.
Lois Browning in the end zone. It's exactly the sort of play I was talking about before, where they've got a player free deep. And that's why, arguably, they have been taking so many shots as they have.
It's well positioned. Up to that point, it's both relying on how well they can catch, but also how accurate the throw is, because it doesn't matter how good you are at catching. If it's out of your reach, there's nothing you can do.
Stacey Mather was right behind her around that
catch. Small short passes from Misfits.
Zaria Island just switching up play a little bit. They're going around the corner, but unfortunately to no avail.
Great intercept there from Nexus Flexus, making their way back up the field before Misfits have a chance to reposition.
They're able to just anticipate where the disc was going to be placed. And we've got a little bit of contact on the disc there, but still held up.
Nexus Flexus do want to take every opportunity they can, all spaces and all opportunities to pass. Great low catch there, yes. They're threading their way around the players. Nexus Flexus trying to make these points happen. Will they go deep, or will they continue with these short passes? Another short pass, brilliantly executed. This is one thing I've noticed about Nexus Flexus, that they have done a lot of short passes that have gone quite well, but they really just need to get it all the way to the end where they do have players potentially available in the end zones.
That little pass there just looked like it didn't have enough shape to get to the player that was free.
Great recovery there from Misfits. A bit worried about a turnover almost immediately, but it was well caught by, I believe, number 11.
A little bit of a counter-attack here from Nexus. They were able to have a situation where it was about 3-on-3. They were able to get a hold of the disc, just work their way downfield quickly, but they're running out of time for the stall call. Able to move it on fairly quickly, though.
Great possession here from Nexus Flexus. They have...
There's been a couple of leads, but this person-on-person defense is back as they look to go deep.
Zaria would not let that by them.
It was almost a case where 38 there, Lois Browning, was almost too deep, because you needed a very, very long sort of 40-metre throw to get there. And it's tough to control those throws at the best of time. So Misfits move it down the field quickly.
Misfits with pace. Unfortunately, not enough distance to get it into the end zone. Can they find the player? Oh, unfortunately, the wind has taken it at a bad angle. Great turnover there from Flexus Nexus, but unfortunately, the point is unable to be secured by Misfits.
It looked like there was a little bit of miscommunication. LLM was running into the end zone there, but they just weren't able to...
A great play there. They covered a lot of distance in just quite a few passes, but Nexus Flexus immediately taking it back up.
Never underestimate the power of a full hand to get your distance.
We encourage anyone watching at home to try these frisbee passes. They are much harder than you'd think. Great catch there from Nexus Flexus. Continuing on, they're pushing up the field. It'll be interesting to see if they can secure any more short passes or if they'll just go for another deep one. Ooh, unfortunately, a lot of pressure from Misfits there.
Got about 15 minutes left in the game.
Misfits ahead by 5 points. Oh, I believe 6 points, actually. It'll be interesting to see if Nexus Flexus can recover, but that is, of course, quite hard just with the time constraints.
They're just running out of that time. There's a little bit of constraint there. It's becoming the 8th and 9th player against them.
That's the pressure, and Misfits are doing a great job at making sure that...
Tiptoeing along the sideline, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, wow.
Zaria Island there looking just to dump it into LLM. Did she make it in?
Inbounds,
they've signaled it.
Fantastic job. Another assist from Zaria.
12-5, ladies and gentlemen. 12-5.
It'll be interesting to see whether Misfits do just stall this out on time or take the 3 points and try to win.
A little bit of a replay here is you can tell they were tiptoeing down the sideline. It was just a heck of a lot of small connections they did there. Just a case of about 3 passes along that edge. Not a lot of... The defense wasn't as tight as Nexus would have liked it to be. And then a little bit of a dunk.
Very skillful to keep it along the sidelines, as just a gust of wind or the slight wrong angle of the frisbee will take it out of bounds, which is then a turnover. High risk, high reward. The pull will be from the Misfits.
They'll be looking to get 15 now, just to get momentum going a bit, and just to get them, I think, prepared for Sunday if they can make it that far. A little bit of confidence in this can go a long way.
Zaria heading off the field. Great plays from them today. A lot of assists, a lot of points, a lot of great hammer throws, were they called? They
are hammer throws. It's an over the head throw. It looks a bit funny, but if you can get it perfectly, it should just float down nice and calm, and it can, if you're positioned right, can go straight into the breadbasket. Unfortunately, Nexus on the pull just turned over immediately.
Oh, this could be it. Number 3. Fantastic catch from Misfits. Unfortunate turnover there for Nexus Flexus, and Misfits did capitalize on that.
Lily Botting running in, scoring once again. It's been very good.
Great at finding space and catching those. I wouldn't even say that was a deep pass. It was quite well moved up the field.
Just look at just the pickup and throw, just going one-handed. Sometimes it's 2 hands are always the best way to go.
And just immediately taken by Misfits. Well capitalized on.
It was Ollie Judd with the assist, I believe.
$5-12. Misfits with the pull.
In fact, it's 5-13.
Misfits getting so many points in a row, we are slightly losing count. No, that is not the case. Nexus Flexus are doing a lot of pressure and keeping this game quite close, but Misfits are just trying to take that 15-point lead and secure the game.
Problem with Nexus is they've just given it up too many times, just a little bit too close to their own defensive end zone, and it's going to be threaded here. 2-on-1, it would have been a tough catch. Got a little bit of a contact discussion, I think it looks like. But I think it was going to be a good contest.
I want to say a clean swat, and the contact might not have had to do with the catch, but I'm just a commentator.
So yes, it is indeed a turnover from the looks of things. Nexus will start from their defensive end zone.
I imagine short passes.
You're going to have to score some very quick points, otherwise they're just playing for pride here.
Do points go and take people anywhere in the tournament, or is it bracket style?
I think there is... I do have the standings listed somewhere in my notes today, but yes, quite often there is a almost a for and against sort of system. There's also a who's played the better teams. At some point we'll get to a power tournament where things get split up, but we'll save that for the finals and how we got here.
Great turnover there for Nexus Flexus.
It's good marking there. Misfits have been able to get in front of their markers.
Fortunate turnover there.
And there's Reggie in zone. It's Lily Botting once again.
Another one from Lily Botting. A great catch that then takes them up to 14.
Emma Whitlock with the throw. Best Whitlock.
To Nexus Flexus's 5. That means 1 more point for Misfits will secure the game, and they have, I believe, just over 10 minutes to make it happen. Nexus Flexus will need to apply as much pressure as they can to score those points, but it is looking dire.
It's once again those quick turnovers doing the job for the Misfits. They've been able to capitalize heavily just on basically 3 or 4 pass, or even just the one-off we've seen a couple of times straight into the end zone. Just being able to capitalize. That's how they've gotten a lot of their points today.
The pull from Misfits. A lot of discussion from Nexus Flexus. I'm sure they're discussing what tactics and what they can change to really try score those couple last points in the second half.
Rebecca Lynch is trying to motivate her team. Misfits look like they're ready to go. Also, that's Brigitte Legg with the With the disc there looking ready to pull. Here we go. It's a good looking pull, but holds up in the wind quite heavily.
To the ground. I want to say Misfits have secured a lot of their points from great pulls, fast turnovers, and a lot of great deep catches.
It's not a bad tactic if you can pull it off.
These Flexes have done a great job of these short passes, and it's been a great person-on-person marking game. There's been a lot of swats, intercepts, defenses, and it's going to be quite the close finisher.
You're looking to thread the needle here. No, just an easy dump off. Beckland able to get in front of her man.
Great pass there from Nexus Flexus. Number 4. Neve Carter Squires. Great low pass there, and an even better catch. Brilliant stuff.
You'll love to see it.
From 83, Rebecca. Great pass from Neve to Rebecca there. Nexus Flexus trying to get this point. Great passes backwards. Just sometimes you have to take one step back to go 2 steps forwards, and they're really taking their opportunities here. A great pass. Oh, unfortunately.
Well blocked.
Great block there from Misfits.
As you just get in the way of the disc and falls to the ground.
Hannah Clark there, just taking it to the ground, giving the turnover to...
Misfits go deep quick once
very
again.
Deep, and we won't be surprised if we see another deep pass.
They're sprinting downfield, but...
No, it might be short.
Not able
might
to
be
connect.
Safe. And here we go. Relatively deep, and this could be it, number 5.
We've got open people in the end zone.
Nexus Flexus just trying to stop this point from happening, or the game will end. It's been a great game from both teams today.
And they've done it.
A turnover.
Game remains alive.
Nexus Flexus need to get this out of here.
Just enough pressure on the stall count, I think, would have helped. Try and do too much.
Every player will be marked here. Misfits will try to get this turnover.
Misfits want this turnover. This is where they've capitalised all game. And Nexus just looking to pull it deep and just try and get some space almost.
Bit of time to reconvene, readjust positioning, and just get ready. They will have to be careful though, as I wouldn't be surprised if some Misfits players just organise themselves in the end zone, as they are not afraid to do these deep passes to secure them these points.
Going into a little bit of a stack formation here. Just looking to break
here
deep.
We are, and 210. Oh, very close. Unfortunately, once again, just out of the fingers. So the players continue. Nexus Flexus need to get this out of their end zone.
Congratulations on forgetting it. They just didn't manage to haul it in.
It's impressive. Once again, great positioning. Nexus Flexus do have a player open to their side.
And it's going to be
great turnover there. Misfits
counter-attack time.
Taking the counter-attack to Zaria, who, as we know, are great with those accurate passes. And here we are, a lot of players in the end zone here.
And final pass.
And there it is, a dive to the final point of the game, which takes Misfits up to 15, Nexus Flexus 5. What a brilliant game, ladies and gentlemen, but the Misfits do secure the win.
It's a terrific game to watch. Score belies how close it actually was, I think. Nexus Flexus held Misfits quite significantly for long periods of that game, and they took the lead at the start. Just weren't able to continue on with their game, as we see replay here, the final point.
Brilliant dive there, just making sure got a good grip, and it counts as a point. Great job.
Never underestimate the layout right at the end there. It's always a good way to finish a game.
Well, we've got more games coming. I believe the next game at 4:30.
Yet to be determined, from what I understand, so it's going to be a surprise to you and us.
Exciting.
But yes, we've done very well. The girls have done a fantastic job today.
We can see both Misfits and Nexus Flexus relaxing after what looked like quite the physical game. A lot of movement, a lot of energy. A lot of energy goes into Ultimate Frisbee with the amount of running, diving, catching, throwing that has to be done. To make positions, to make yourself space, you do have to run, and that just takes a lot of energy, and it's great to see everyone putting it all out there on the field. So
good to watch. Misfits doing fantastically, 15-5. I've been Richard Harris.
I've been Will Juzianic.
Hope to catch you after the break. Should be 4:30 for our next live call. Thank you very much.
Thank you.